How's it going? So I'm here with Lawn Care Rookie. We're hanging out. We've been together for probably, this will be the second day. We're at the Service Autopilot office. We went over and visited my lawn company, City Turf, earlier this morning. And this is part one of a two-part video. So what you should do is, right after you watch this, jump over to Lawn Care Rookie and watch the second part of this video.
So while we were going around, you were showing us everything, and it was really mind-opening, and it showed you the possibilities, like we talked about before. And it's just, you don't really know what you can achieve sometimes without seeing it in action. But I really want to know, do you really think that any lawn care business can be $1 million business?
For sure, I do. I think it's more about a question, do you really want to be $1 million business? In terms of, can you be? For sure, in that if you figure out how to market, if you figure out who your ideal client is, and you get laser focused on serving that client and focusing on them and blocking out all the noise and all the other people that you could do business with, if you simplify the business, meaning you simplify your business model, you're not trying to be all things to everyone, running every type of equipment, serving every type of property type, you sort of get focused. That's the concept here, is you get focused, you figure out how to get paid fast, you figure out how to do marketing, you take great care of that client. It's not as difficult as it seems to get to $1 million. And then the biggest thing of all is you've got to figure out who the right team members are to work at your company, that are quick, provide quality, that are dependable, that don't give you ulcers every day where you, because they do, you have no desire to build the business. You got to go find those right people, and then you got to learn how to recruit. All of that's tough. I mean, it's not like, yeah, tomorrow you're going to wake up with $1 million business, because you got to learn some stuff.
Right.
You got to learn how to do those things. But as soon as you figure that out, it's not that hard. There's tons of people that have got to that level. It feels really hard in the beginning. It's not as hard as it seems if you just learn a few things. So the reason I said at the beginning, do you really want it? Maybe you don't want to learn that stuff. Maybe like you don't even care about that stuff, and you just want to push a mower, you just want to kill bugs, and you don't actually want to grow any of those necessary skill sets in yourself to be able to do it. And that's really your bigger question. It's not a matter of, is it possible? That's like certain. The question is, do you want it?
Yeah, I totally agree. And what I think part of the struggle also is, like I alluded to in the beginning of this question, is if you can't see that, like it was eye-opening seeing, City Turf and just talking to you and all the different examples you gave through your experiences. And I think that's really what's missing for a lot of people. They just don't know what's possible. And whether it's they join Service Autopilot, the academy and all those different things, go to the conference, and all of a sudden their eyes are wide open, because not only are they seeing some of the things in action and hearing you and other guest speakers talk about it that live through it, they're also getting to network with people that are doing it.
Right.
I know firsthand from some of my peers and mentors that told me that they had those experiences at SA5 last year, and that really made them realize that, wow, it is possible. Like, I don't have to just stick with my $500,000 business. I can actually go to the next level, and here's some tools and resources I can use. And so yeah, I agree. I just wanted you to to answer that and give some of your nuggets there. But and I definitely think it's key. It's, do you really want that? And everyone has different goals.
Yeah, and it's totally cool. If you don't want it,
happy.
just figure it out. One thing that I know, I say this sometimes, and I don't know that it's necessarily understood what I'm saying, but frankly, in many cases, it's easier running $1 million business than it is a $400,000 or $500,000 business. Like if you are,
it
is. It's just it doesn't sound possible.
Some people are like, really? Come on, how is that possible?
It's counterintuitive, because you're projecting all the junk you have to deal with every day in your smaller business on a bigger business, and you're forgetting that when you have the bigger business, you have people helping you.
Right.
Like it's so much better when you have people helping you, and then you're projecting your employee problems today, like the people that frustrate you, you're imagining you're going to have those same kind of people and more when it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't. Otherwise, you built the company wrong. Like when you fix those things, it's so much better.
Right.
And so for anybody that's stuck, we were talking about this, anybody that's stuck from anywhere from getting started to about 400 grand, you're in the hardest part of building a company. It's just hard because you're learning, and you've got so much to learn, and you're figuring it out. You don't know the right kind of people to hire, the right kind of properties to serve. You're figuring it all out. It's hard.
Right.
Once you transcend that, it's not as hard. It's still hard, but it's not as hard.
Right. No, I agree. And from a little bit of personal experience for myself, I mean, for my lawn care business that I have 5 years, going on 6th season right now, last year was the first year that I hired employees, part-time employees. And I mean, that was a game changer, because they happen to be good employees, so that was fortunate. unfortunately, they were temporary, so I don't still
Yeah.
have them. So I have to kind of go back to the drawing board, and that's kind of the name of the game,
Yeah.
right? The nature of the beast, for one reason or another.
But there are
turnover.
ways to solve that.
Right.
Like, you can't build a great company and have to fix that every single
Right.
year. Yeah.
Exactly. But in the time that I had them, it gave me so much leverage and gave me so much more time to
Yeah.
do other things.
Yeah.
And it was great. And the rainy season that we had last year, I was able to get all our work done. If I was still solo, I kept saying this all year last year, I don't know how I would have got all my work done. And subsequently, I wouldn't have made as much money because I would have had to skip so many weeks. And I don't have a contract worked out that way. And if you do, that's fine. But if you don't, then what do you do? So I didn't have to worry about that because we could just double, triple, whatever up on the work and just get it done. Guys would work a little bit longer. We'd all work longer, maybe work on a Saturday. That happened few and far between because we were able to just keep it going on the not rainy days.
Yep.
And just get it to work. But I know that firsthand, that not only people, but the right people, like you said, can transition not only your business but your thinking. And I also know that from being in retail management my whole life, basically over 15 years. I've managed people the whole time, so I've managed thousands of people, so I get it. But it's also a gift and a curse, right? Because I know what a pain it is to babysit a lot of times these people. But when you find the right people and you have a good team, you can accomplish anything. I could do whatever task, rearrange a whole floor set, that overnight with the right people, and it was enjoyable. I did pizza for everybody, we'd have a good time. And then there's those times where I didn't have the right people, or I had no one, and I had to do it all by myself, and it was a grind.
Yep.
So that's really what
Unless you just don't like other human beings, it's more fun to work with
a team
and cool people.
Right.
Like, it's just so much better.
Right.
And so building a team makes the company more fun. You just got to build the right team.
Right. And again, that's
all that, like, from what you did.
Exactly.
And we're in the same page, yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, and again, it goes back to if that's what you want to do. So, so I also want to touch base. We talked a while ago on the phone, and you were telling me a lot about just everything that you were saying about Service Autopilot and City Turf and all your experiences. You really felt you sounded very passionate about this industry and everything around it, and you also sound like you want to really help all of the small companies, just kind of help the little guys. And I just really want to know, like, why? What does that mean to you? Like, why do you love the industry so much, and why does helping the little guy really help?
Yeah, I've been asked this, and I don't know if I always know exactly what the answer is. I think I have a theory on it. I'd be lying if I didn't say, for some reason, it kind of makes me feel good. Like, I have a ton of friends in these businesses, like tons. I work in this business, and so I have lots of friends. And so when you're a friend with someone and you see them make a breakthrough in their business because of some pain that I went through earlier, like, makes me happy. I don't know, I feel good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's almost that basic. Like, I just like it, feel good when I do it. I like it. I'm very fortunate financially in life. Like, any additional money isn't going to make my life happier. But what makes me happier is hanging out with cool people, seeing their lives get better, learning things from my conversation with you. I learned, like, I'm learning stuff talking to you. Like, that's fun.
Right.
So that's one. The other thing I would say why maybe I'm really attracted to this industry. So when I grew up out in the country, and I wanted cars. Like, that was my goal in life, and I had to buy my own car. And so like my motivation in life was, how am I going to buy these things?
Right.
And so I was trying to figure out how to make money. I started mowing lawns when I was 14. My mom was kind enough. We lived in the country, to drive me into town and drop me off. And I would put out door hangers, and I'd mow lawns, and I built a business that took me all the way into my freshman year of college, and I saved a whole lot of money doing that, and I didn't have to work at a normal job, and and so that had my mom and dad not done that for me, I would not own Service Autopilot, I would not own City Turf, I wouldn't have owned the other businesses, I wouldn't have been able to make the investments I've made. I could be wrong, but that was the linchpin, or like that was the catalyst in my entire life that showed me a new way to live life. Like, because I didn't have any examples of, my dad's an artist, but I didn't have any role models that had built companies. I didn't have any relatives that owned companies. I didn't know anybody that owned a company. Right. And that, it's kind of what you were talking about earlier about showing you what's possible. I had this little win mowing lawns, and I bought some really cool cars in high school, and they were paid for in cash from my lawn mowing business. Like, wow, this is a cool way to live life. And it's like, that programmed me, like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
And
so you became an entrepreneur.
So it's like
from day one.
Yeah, so every other idea of the way that I could carry out my life, meaning working for someone or whatever it might be, it all sounded subpar to building your own thing. And so that set me on a journey and I think it's made me a much better person, because in trying to figure out how to build big businesses, you have to figure out how to be a leader, a coach, you have to deal with problems, you have to work on your mindset so you can be calm when things are melting down, you have to have patience to build up cash, reserves, and all these things. You're the example of your company. So are you in shape? Are you eating healthy? Like, how do you show up? How do you talk to people? Are you, like, what's your language? Are you positive? Building a business makes you grow all those skill sets. I'm a better version of me today because of business. And I could have probably got that working at a cool company as well, but I know with certainty I got it from building a company. So when I think about how this transformed my life from where I'm at today, like, I like the industry. It set me on this path. And then two, I every time I look at a young person, it's like, dude, if you can start your life out with the advantage I had. I didn't have financial advantages from my parents. I had an advantage of getting to experience entrepreneurship and having a small win when I was young. If you could start your life out like that when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you are golden. Right. Versus waiting till 35, 40. Like, a lot of people start their first business at 40. Like, right. What an advantage.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. That's the best I can come up with why I like it. I just like it.
Yeah, makes total sense.
And people in the industry, in some of these industries, like, they're just good people. Like, most people are not running around putting on a show. There is that. There's the negativity and there's the craziness, but a lot of people I've met that are doing something interesting in their business, and they're just good people, like quality people. So, right. And I respect that. I like that. So I like hanging out with them.
Right. Awesome. And that makes total sense. So speaking of City Turf, this question is specific for City Turf, which is a lawn care company, correct?
Yep. Lawn care, pest control, irrigation, fertilization, weed control.
Right. Yeah. And you service 8,000 accounts, and you're dominant in the area that you're in.
Yep.
What's the single best thing you did that changed your business?
To hear the answer to that question and the rest of the interview, head over to YouTube and visit the Lawn Care Rookie channel.